Wrestle that 90.
Meter twisted.
Let her down without hurting yourself. Hey everybody, welcome back to This Old Trike. My name's Preston, and sometimes I get asked, especially after posting a video or posting some pictures on Honda Hoarders on my Instagram account, This Old Trike. If I post pictures of a bunch of three-wheelers I might have just dragged out of somebody's barn or acquired, people ask, how do you manage to find a bunch of Hondas all in one spot when, you know, it seems like everybody and their brother and their brother's cousin and everybody they know are after a lot of these vintage Hondas. And the answer to that, how do you find them, is you don't stop looking, and you find yourself looking even when you don't really intend to. But sometimes they find you. You know, if you're in tune with your inner trike hoarder, a lot of times people know you're that guy. They know if somebody has something for sale, they'll say, hey, let me reach out to my friend Preston or whoever, and deals will pop up that way. But sometimes I put Craigslist ads up. I don't really put any marketplace want ads up, but over a year ago I had a Craigslist ad up, and I only run these time to time, but I had a lead. Somebody called me on my Craigslist ad and told me his name was Scott, and he had a couple US90s that he was interested in selling. And this was in the fall of 2020, and it came out that Scott lived in a town that my friend married a girl from, and they knew each other and saw each other regularly. And so he told me he'd get these machines. He was getting them out of a barn from somebody that he knew, and he'd follow up with me. So some time went by, and I checked in with him, and I didn't hear back. I think he might have called me in response, but I checked in again. This is November 2020, and nothing ever came of it at that time. And I'd since talked to my friend about this gentleman, and he said how great of a guy he was, and don't worry about it. He'll follow up with you. And Lord knows I have enough things going on where I wasn't worried about bringing home more Hondas, so it wasn't on my mind. But fast forward over a year to March of 2022, and the phone rings, and it's Scott, and he says, hey, can I text you some pictures? I've got those two three-wheelers out of the barn, and they're here now, and I'm just wondering what your interest level is. And I told him very interested. Send me some pictures. So within the pictures, there were the two 90s, a 74 and a blue Aquarius Blue 90. I didn't know if it was a 70 or a 71 at the time, but he told me what he needed for him, and the price was right. So I said, yep, add to cart, thank you. And he said also there's this little 110 and a 185S in the barn if you're interested. And he only had a couple of poor pictures of those. So I said, yeah, can you get those out and let me know? He said he could, so we did. And he also mentioned a couple of motorcycles, and there was more than just these two Hondas, but I wasn't interested in them, of course. So he pulled them out eventually, sent me pictures of those, and I asked him if he could hold them until I picked up the 90s, and then I could look at them in person, because at what he wanted for them, I really wanted to make sure the value was there as far as I'm concerned. So that's how this deal kind of manifested. Turns out Scott, my new friend Scott, is a great guy, and I'm looking forward to future deals with him if they ever pop up. So here's how this barn find played out. So fresh back from Snert. Of course, you can't go out of town without looking in a few barns. And we dragged home these two little beauties, if you want to call them that. This is a 1971, based on the VIN. It's a 1-1 serial number beginning with, so we know that is most likely a 71 model year, even though there's really very little difference between the two. So Aquarius Blue, she's been rattle canned at some point. You'll notice overspray and incorrect things. This has got the highly desirable see-through can or gas tank, so you can see your gas level at any moment. Custom exhaust, but 2 balloon tires that are holding air. I asked the guy, did you put any air in these? And he said no. I know he didn't put any air in that one, but he said these are as found. I talked to the gentleman who pulled these out of the barn that they were in, not the gentleman who owned them. So this is 1974, as we know, number 83. If that was you, let me know. Leave a comment. I've got your machine. This is the better shaped machine, and the tanks are not that great. Obviously that one's toast. There's no saving that one. This one has rust in it, so we'll see. We'll get into these. We'll do a deep dive into what's what. Oh, look at this. It's got the custom blue light exhaust modification. Ooh, and this one's got a nice little tail light set up down there. Not quite 59 Cadillac tail light, but reminiscent of that. We'll get these in the shop and detail them up. Let's see what we dragged home in the trailer, though. Now, don't be alarmed, because this might not be what you'd expect. And the smell of nasty gas is permeating through the trailer right now. This thing was last registered in October of 1969. That's off, that's on, and those are for the lights. Very cool. This is a late 60s Honda S90, so very similar motor to the US90. I'm sure it's the same top end, but again, barn fresh. We had to get creative because, as you can tell, our Snurtmobiles are in here. They are covered. We did 86 miles. John did a little less. He was not having the best day, so we cut his trip a little short, gave him the option to wait for us. Let me switch around to the other door. So, got a 1982 185S. We know that because 2 means blue, all blue tank decal, as opposed to the 81 that would have white in the front. And an 83 110, we know that because it's got the hockey stick. And if this was an 83 185S, that would have like a hockey stick looking decal. So what is that seat off of? Is that 2nd Gen R? Is that 2nd Gen 125M? I don't know. Gotta look at that. I don't know what this is. This is custom. But these are kind of ratty. The 110's the nicer of the two. It's got 3 mismatched tires, but that's an OEM later generation 110 tire. The Pro-Am, the Atsu, as I call it, but word on the street is the correct pronunciation is Oats. And I just can't reconcile that in my head, so I'm going to keep saying Atsu, and that's an Atsu 200X tire. No, 250SX tire. We'll confirm that later. And it's got a Dunlop knobby on the other side. Kind of wondering if that's maybe a 1st Gen R tire. I'll have to look. This has all, what are they? Dixie Pack. Baja knobby. This one's ratty. Got a rack on it, so that's cool. New York license plate, last registered in 88. How about that? And this that's got a really clean tank on it and decent conditions. Got the trunk lid. Got a lot of things going for it. But we got to unload. It's actually starting to snow just the tiniest little bit here. So I don't want to get my pressure washer out just yet. You'd think we'd have spring here in New York, but not yet. 350X fared well. Something I did notice that happened, that little support, you see that daylight? My support broke. So I gotta hot wire that in. Now, those weren't show pieces anyway, that's why they're on this machine, but I didn't hit anything. I don't know what happened. Here's my buddy Nate's machine. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? It made it though. I give it that. It survived snert. But once we get some time, we'll get these cleaned off and back to reality. All right, I brought everything over except that blue 90, the old S90, towing them with the SX that Donnie Bizall rode at Snert. But just wanted to show, you know, if you're by yourself and you want a good three-wheeler towing method at slow speeds, you can do something like this. It will kind of turn itself if you go slow. I'm just using a ratchet strap from the trailer. It's acting like it wants to stall. She's running good. So we're just gonna tow this guy behind me. Where is it? So they get a little mind of their own. So we've brought over the 7490, the 82 185S, the 83 110, the 86 250SX that John rode, Donnie Bizall, Dr. John at Snert, and then the 350X with the fender extension. Now you remember all the nice stickers I put on so I can promote my friends? Not too many are showing through. Actually, with the headlight running, you can't even see through that. So these are gonna benefit wildly from a pressure wash. Thankfully, this isn't Trike Fest mud, because Trike Fest mud just impregnates on everything. Does look like there's a little oil right there, huh? I don't know. Didn't notice anything while I was riding. Once they're clean, we'll do a better assessment. But as I'm pressure washing, I'll look through these and give them a once over, and we'll just deal with the ones we left over there at another time. Okay. What am I noticing here? That tank is clean, but dented right up right there. Very interesting dent. And I don't know why. And I didn't notice it because I didn't pull the fenders when I was looking this thing over. I knew the grab bar was bent and welded, but didn't know the tank was like that. It's taken a long time to get the SX and the 350X clean, so I'm going to jump ahead so we can look at these, talk about them, and see what we find. The first thing I noticed on this that I did look for was see if it had an air pump, and it does not. No tools. It does have a patch here. But we'll discover what else it has. The sun's coming back out. I thought it was going to rain there for a minute. Let's see what we ended up with. We'll start here with a 74. Not a lot of surprises here. Obviously that brake lever isn't straight like it used to be, and I don't think this cable is correct. At least it's not supposed to have that spring reinforcement on it. Tank is dirty. Maybe can buff up a little bit, but relatively decent on the inside without looking too close. This is just the initial wash. A lot of dust came off, but you can see where the grime is sticking. So we'll need to spray some stuff on that. Tires are respectable. That number plate has to come off. We are joined by Miss Pepe over there. Fenders are okay. Seat cover is horrendous. They do have the crack that we are used to seeing. Be cool to know where they came from, but I think that sticker has long since given up the ghost. The 185S doesn't have the exhaust guard on it. It's got tubes in the tires, I noticed that. The motor did clean up fairly nice, but again, needs some simple green or some degreaser. Somebody has repainted that tank. Looks like they masked off the decals. They did a good job masking it off, but the paint just didn't stick very well. Forks look to be painted. The recoil looks like they did away with the decompression aspect of it and just goobered that up with some silicone. So that means over on this side, the decomp mechanism is just chilling. Is that right? Yeah, here's the end of it. They said, nah, we don't need that. Just pull it. Took a little dinner break right there. Did you guys even notice? This tank's rusty on the inside. I tell you, the smell of bad gas is bad. But missing the chain guard, missing the tool kit. The fenders are very nice. Got the old school New York license plate. I dig that riveted right on. That's unfortunate because the fenders are crack free. That seat pan, or that seat, is something. The pan is there. So I wonder what the deal is. So here's something neat. This 83 110 So it's got 3 different tires. This tire we know is a, hold on, PV Pro Vector. Oh, this is a 200X tire. Pretty sure. Is it? Tricycle guy could tell me. I forget which is which now. But that's, you know, it's okay, but it's dry rotting. It's tubed, so it's probably not holding air that well. This tire is very full. It's got kind of a slit right there. But this is a Dunlop KT 221. That's a first gen R tire, as well as a multitude of other tires. That tire was used by every ATV manufacturer at one point. Mike Pomgren told me that today. Very nice guy. So that tank is dented. Talked about that. It's got the Pro-Am tire on the front. Forks again. Somebody got rattle can crazy. It's got this special, you know, trim on the headlight shell there. So nothing overly special. Definitely this one's the most special. The blue one over there we're gonna use just as a parts machine. That S90 I'll probably use just to tinker on. I kind of like it, so I think I'm gonna keep that. This 74, I'm gonna take the tires and put it on a 71 summer yellow 90 that I have, because it has the Argo style tires. So once I put the other tires back on, I will sell that, but it won't have the correct balloon tires on. This 185S is not a keeper. Neat machine, but it was just part of the package. So I have one. I don't need another one, so I'll be cutting that loose after I see if she'll run nice. And this, I'm gonna keep all these cool tires. I've got my other 83 110 does not have original tires on it, so I will put those on this and put different tires on that. Probably put the front on, but actually none of these tires are correct for this machine. It should have had knobbies that looked like that, but that's not the correct tire. And then we still got to give these a little more attention. But now that I've had dinner, I'm gonna start hosing again. My nicely painted head pipe is burned off the paint. That was all nice and black. This thing's getting some use on it, but that's what they were made for, right? You got to sink them in mud holes to prove that, you know, those Japanese engineers aren't upset, you know, and the fact that these are sitting in private collections somewhere. Let me get back to work. I did just notice something here on the 110. Let me know if you notice it too. I don't think the center line of that front tire lines up with the center line of the headlight. I don't know what exactly is going on there. The forks look tweaked. But to close this out, we went over the plan. We'll do what we can. We'll sell things that we can't keep or don't want to keep or all that. As far as damage from snert, oh, what's up, phone? As far as damage from snert, I don't think there's anything wrong with the SX that wasn't already wrong. I didn't realize there was no front brakes, so maybe we lost those somewhere along the line, but there are rear brakes. Maybe that's why John was going so slow. This is just the initial bathing, the deep hose off, and we're gonna get a bucket of soapy water here to finish these up. Really need to invest in a seat cover. That would really do wonders for this. I have the trunk lid, which I think has matching diamond plate on it. The only damage I see on my X is right here. You can see the piece sitting through there. That broke free. I don't remember hitting anything hard. My 86 I used to have back in high school did that. Oh, and I'm missing a nut. I lost a nut there. That's how my one in high school used to be. Pretty much the exact same hole, so I can hot wire that back in and make her stay. Probably need to fire a couple staples back in the seat cover. Those are just for rides. But this machine's all right. I don't think I've got any noteworthy issues with it. My chain was a little too loose. You can see it's loose. So when I was in the mud, I could hear it. So I know it was too loose. I opted, just for time's sake, I didn't tighten it up when I should have. And I went into it knowing that. That's probably what I heard at the beginning of the ride. The Gonzo nose held up. She's legit. She's on there. That saved the day. But I'm going to leave these here for the night and try to hit them with some soapy water and a sponge for tomorrow. That's it for me, I think. I've been outside messing with this pressure washer for over an hour now, so I think I'm going to call it. But thanks for watching, as always, guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. We just hit 4,500 subscribers, so that is extremely exciting. And whenever you comment on my videos, I try to comment back, and I appreciate all the positivity that you're sending my way. So thank you for that. As you can see, we've got a little snow left up here in upstate New York. Not as much as Tug Hill, but theirs was even fading pretty quick. But grass is greening up, and I am looking forward to that. Looking forward to wheeling out more machines, doing some comparisons. We haven't talked about 185Ss or 200Ss or 125Ms. The 85 200 ES is fully disassembled. We opted to go do the full thing, powder coat, the whole 9 yards. The bugs are out, as you can see. I just got a new tank so I can have that repainted and have the fully restored look without molesting the original tank, because I just don't want to do that. But again, thank you so much from this old trike. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.